Hey there, guys. Come on in. Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday, October 31st, and we're going to talk about some immigration updates and go through some Q&As that you have for me today. Type in freedom now as you join, and certainly, guys, say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Double tap the screen if you're joining today on TikTok, Instagram. It's great to see you. McBean Immigration TV, welcome. Facebook, thank you for being here. Guys, this is the end of the week, right? And one of the biggest issue that I want to discuss with you today is about work permits, okay? This week, very briefly, you saw through USCIS, and we also had a terrific carousel on social media explaining that they're getting rid of automatic extensions for the work permits for those who benefited from automatic extensions. Okay, remember that whole 540-day automatic extension because they were taking so long to renew work permits? Well, this administration has gotten rid of that. And so now what they're encouraging you to do is to apply early. 180 days before your work permit expires, apply early. There will be some people, it just depends on the case that you have, who will still experience a gap. And the government knows this. They know that some of you might lose your job. They know that. And so they've put this in place intentionally, knowing that some of you might experience a gap because they're taking a long time to approve the work permit renewals in some cases. So this was an unnecessary and cruel attempt, I think, at the government of putting more pressure on people to drive them to leave the United States. I really see that as the rationale here. But wise up and certainly get your work permit application, renewal application in early so that you will not experience a gap and have a problem keeping your job. That's the first big update that I wanted to discuss with you. And certainly, if you'd like more information, go on our LinkedIn page or Instagram or Facebook to see the update that we provided a few days ago about this automatic extension being terminated. Now, here's another thing that's been on my mind that I think is important for you guys to keep in mind as well. This is new. This is new. USCIS, friends, is now looking at a work permit application that was denied. Let's say you have a case pending, maybe it's an asylum case or an adjustment of status case pending at USCIS. And along with that, you decide, I'm going to file an I-765 work permit application because I'm eligible for a work permit. And that unfortunately is denied. The work permit application is denied. After it's denied, what is happening now in very few cases, I haven't seen this to be like a widespread problem yet, but I'm sharing this with you so that you could be on alert to not be in this person's shoes, I should say, that I'm aware of. What is happening now, guys, is USCIS is placing those individuals in removal proceedings. Why? Because the work permit application was denied. This has never been the case. Never. Normally, if a work permit application or a travel authorization document is denied, USCIS will just wash its hands of it. They don't care. They're not going to take any steps. They're not going to do anything further with regard to that case. They don't care. And you would still have an opportunity to have your asylum case heard before them or the green card application to be adjudicated all the way until the end, because that's what matters ultimately. But now it seems as if they are cutting short your process for asylum before them or adjustment of status before them and placing you in removal. Why? Because you had this smaller application called a work permit application that was denied. So be careful when you're filing those smaller applications. They do matter now. They matter, and If your case is placed in removal, it for some of you, you will still get a green card. You will still get through. It will not be the biggest problem in the world. It will be more expensive, certainly. It will take time. It'll delay your case. It'll be more complicated. But ultimately, for some of you, you could still get through it. It will take some years, maybe. So avoid this mistake of just going out and just filing that I-765 application. I can't believe I'm telling you this because an I-765 application is such a small little application. It's not a big deal. Now it could actually open the door to shortcut your process at USCIS and place you in removal. I hope you understand what I'm saying, guys, okay? Take heed and be careful, read those instructions and avoid this mistake. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get into the Q&A session. Again, I'm LaToya McBean Pompy, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. And you could reach out to us at 914-898-9488. Each week I get so many questions and trying to be as responsive as possible by having these live sessions and connecting with you. So thank you so much for being here with me. And I'm asking ground rules is this. Do not spam. If you're spammed, we will place you in timeout, okay? Be respectful of other people's comments so that I could get through as many questions as possible. Thank you guys for being here today. Thank you. Thank you. And also, guys, consultations are the way to get started with us. So book your consultation and get started with your case. Thank you. Do I have any U visa update? No, I do not have anything new on the U visa side. Let's see. And I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I have two children, and I have DACA. I came here with a visa, and there's no record. Oh, I came here with visa, no record of entry. You came here with a visa. Well, the first thing we would do is we would do some digging with the government to find that lawful entry that you've mentioned here that you have. You said that there is no record of entry, but you came with a visa. We would be looking to see did you enter with a visa in your name or was it in someone else's name? And also, is anything out there for you that we could find to prove that you came in lawfully or you were inspected, so to speak, so that you could do adjustment of status, okay? Thank you. Freedom Now, guys. Freedom Now. It's good to see you guys. If you're joining on Facebook, share this live session with your feed so that others can get maybe life-changing information today. Who knows, right? Freedom Now, Celia, good to see you. Freedom Now, Janet, thank you for being here. Joanne, thank you. Okay, let's shift this over just a little bit. Let's see. And discretion. Veronica, you've asked this question before on other live sessions about your T visa denial. Please get a consultation in with us so that I could ask you some questions related to that denial and see the denial letter. Thank you. Let's see. Work permit applications, Luxon, as I've mentioned earlier, try to get your application in as early as possible. I am a U.S. citizen and I filed an I-130 in February of 2024 for my wife. She's living in the Caribbean and nothing yet from USCIS. I think you're still, oh, that's a long time. You're U.S. citizen. That's a long time. Um, uh, did you receive an RFE? Anything came to you that requested additional evidence or anything like that? To me, that seems a little slow because now you're going on, we're going into November starting tomorrow. So your case is almost at the 2-year mark. We could look at that to see what's going on with that case and if there are any factors for even an expedite request. And if not, then we would consider filing a mandamus to force that next step in the process, okay? Any updates on VAWA? I don't have any updates, Khadijah, with regard to VAWA. It is still the same status quo. TPS for Venezuela is ending on November 7th, Laura, as I mentioned last week. And so if you haven't, for the 2023 designation, and so if, or is it the 2021 designation? I think I always get those two mixed up. I think it's the 2021, I'm sorry, designation. But in any event, November 7th is the end date. And so what you should be thinking about now is, do I have a way forward, maybe to asylum? And if so, you've got to immediately jump on that. Immediately jump on that opportunity. Freedom Now. The other update that's on my mind is the fact that the government is trying to short circuit, so to speak, or cut off your ability to seek asylum when you're going through a removal process. What they're doing now, friends, is the ICE attorney is filing a motion in court asking that your case just end without you even having a hearing and you having an opportunity to present your full case to the court. They're trying to stop the due process and just end everything for you right then and there. And they're successful in some cases. Some of these judges have been approving these and ending the asylum process for some people. We had that come up just this week, well, last week in a case, and we filed it by ICE, and we filed our motion, and the judge agreed with us, and our client can get a chance to have her hearing. I think it's in January, and on a case that we're working on. And so it's super important, guys, that you work with a company, a firm, a lawyer who understands how to fight these tactics by the government, because many of these tactics are new, and you've got to be able to, navigate them, these rough waters, and get your result, okay? And so if you have a case like an asylum case and it's before the court, ensure that you have your evidence, you have a brief, you have support for it, because if it's just a bare bones asylum application, well, the OPLA attorneys or ICE attorneys are looking, guys, for an opportunity to end your case prematurely, and then you'll be in very big trouble if that does happen, okay? So if you are facing a situation like that, immediately reach out to us so that we could take a look at your removal case to see what can be done for you. All right. Awesome. Demetrius is asking a question about the removal of conditions process. Why does I-751 not take a long time? Or that's what he says here. And USCIS keep increasing the processing time. So 751 is it's a marriage process in which the government is looking again at your marriage to determine whether it's genuine, and they're taking their sweet time in some cases because they're looking for more marriage fraud cases. So I think that's why it's taken longer than necessary for some people. Freedom Now, guys, double tap the screen. I don't have any update on TPS for Haiti. The litigation is still going on, and February 3rd is still the end date for TPS ending for Haiti. However, you should absolutely speak with a lawyer about whether you qualify to apply for asylum, if that's the segue for you, or for some people, the segue might be their removal case, to continue their removal case because they have relief that's available to them in immigration court. All right. My wife is in the Philippines. My wife is a Filipino and she wants to be with me. I'm going through cancer treatment. Rose says here, I'm sorry, Rose, I think, about what you're going through. There's a way to expedite a case under those circumstances. Reach out to us so that we could see how far you've gone with your case, with bringing your wife to the United States, and then we could put in an expedite request for you. That's a very strong reason to expedite the case. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Samuel says that I have an interview marked to be interviewed, but I didn't attend any interview. Is it a good sign that it's been waived, Samuel? Maybe, maybe. That's a good sign that it didn't happen. Or you might get a new date. I don't know. Hey there, Nyla. Good to see you. we're always looking for signs, right? Like, oh, this didn't happen. Does it mean this other thing? With immigration, it's unpredictable. It's very difficult to know sometimes why they do things on the back end because we don't work for them, right? So just give it some more time, okay? Is it okay? Is it okay to be scheduled for an interview while your EAD is still in process and not approved yet? Is it okay? I don't know why you're asking the question like that. Is it okay to be? Um, it's not uncommon for them to call a person in for an interview, despite the fact that their work permit is in process. They're moving faster in some cases these days, so maybe that's what's going on here. It's hard to say, Richard, if that's the reason here. All right, let's see. I came to the country. This is Instagram asking, Sabaz. I came to the country with a visa 6 years ago, and I just have my adjustment of status pending. Am I at risk of detention? Good question. So, are you at risk of the people who are at risk of being detained while they have an adjustment of status pending typically are folks who have an immigration history. Maybe they have an adverse history that that particular field office, not all field offices are following by this playbook here, but if you're at an aggressive field office and you have, let's say you have fraud on your record from an earlier case that was denied, or maybe you have a criminal record, well, under those circumstances, some field offices are being more aggressive and will coordinate detention, but most everyone else, they're not at risk of being detained. Double tap the screen, guys. Type in freedom now. DACA is still on hold. The things have slowed down significantly in Texas with DACA, obviously, because of the government shutdown. Do we accept clients from South Jersey? No, only those from North Jersey. Yes, we do. We accept clients from all states, okay? Including South Jersey. Thank you. Freedom Now. Let's see. Someone says here, how do I get a bona fide determination? I submitted my application in 2023. Is this a U visa or a T visa case? You might not get that. Okay, the bona fide determination that's discretionary. They don't give that to everyone. All right. They give it to those cases where they find the credibility there for the case that you filed, the U visa or the T visa. And it does happen much sooner than that. Your case has been pending for 2 years now, so you might not get a bona fide determination. Now, those who do get a bona fide determination it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to approve the case, right? The bigger case, because they're going to consider the merit of your T visa or U visa when they get to it. But in the beginning, they've made the decision that there's something here. There's something here that looks credible, and therefore we're going to give this victim a work permit to not suffer any further while we're working on their process, okay? What's up with all the judges in Washington state being laid off? I don't know. I don't know why that's happening in your state in particular. I do know generally that there's an attempt, if you're talking about immigration judges, there is an attempt to replace. This is the great replacement time, right? At the time to replace the people who had been in the government, working for the government over the last umpteenth years, replace those people with new people who align with the new philosophy of a political party that is in power right now. So that is what is going on here with replacing these judges. Let's go down a little bit here. All right. Yobith says that he had a biometric appointment for a work permit earlier this month, and now I have an interview for my asylum case. Do you know how long it's going to take for me to get my work permit? I thought he was going to ask something more important, like how do I prepare for my asylum interview that is coming up, right? So that's what you should also be thinking about. Wait and see how things go with your asylum case. I hope you'll be able to get your work permit, but for some people, the government is moving very, very quickly on their asylum case, particularly those of you who applied for asylum in the spring of this year. Thank you for those gifts on TikTok. For those who had applied in the spring, they're getting their interviews and then they're being placed in removal because the government is trying to shift many people into the removal system. So they will not be able to even get a work permit because there's not enough time on the clock to even give them a work permit. So that's what's been happening for some people. And then worst is this, that sometimes USCIS looks at that application and they're not even going to do anything with it, right? So that is also going on there too. Let's go down. Let's go down. Hey there, Joanne. Joanne says that once you've submitted the request for evidence, how long does it usually take to get a final decision? Joanne, it could be a matter of days in some cases if it's a very easy, clear-cut explanation, or you've solved the problem very easily for immigration by submitting to them a primary document that they're seeking. And they could just go ahead and approve your case right away. But for others, it could take months sometimes to hear back from the government. Okay. Type in freedom now. It's Friday, Friday, Friday. Let's see, go down here. All right, I applied for a fiance visa in April. In April. By the way, I'm getting questions about timeline here. I do not have another monitor or computer set up here in a way that's easy for me to check processing time, so I don't have some data. Go on USCIS's website and check the processing time for your petitions and applications today, okay? So I'm going to possibly bypass some more questions about timeline. Okay. Thelma says, I got a denial letter last month, but I was separated from my U.S. husband after a few months of living together. Now my husband has died. What will I do? Okay, first thing that we would do, Thelma, is this. We will look at that denial letter to see what problem the government had with the case filed by your now deceased husband. We would then consider whether you can do a widow filing to USCIS, all right? And whether there was proof that you guys were in a genuine marriage. It is possible to be in a genuine marriage and only live with that individual for a very short period of time and still be able to do a new filing as a widow and or widower, and get a green card through that process. But you'll have to convince the government that you were in a genuine marriage to your deceased U.S. citizen spouse. So reach out to us quickly, okay, because there's a timing issue here with a case like this one, and let us evaluate whether you have a way forward on your own now with the case. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, I entered with a visa too often, and I was detained at the airport, about to be deported, but they saw that my dad had filed for me and let me go to leave by a certain date. But I've overstayed. It's been 2 years now. How does this affect? I like the drama. I'm like, I gotta add some drama here, guys, because I need to stay interested in what I'm doing. So this person says, how will this affect a marriage case? Well, they did not, they did not, um, turn you around directly, we would have to look at those that entry record very carefully here, and make sure that you can still do adjustment of status. Okay, so we'll want more facts about what happened there, and the fact that the government ultimately told you you can come in, but how much time did they tell you that you've had to leave the United States by? I would want to make sure that you really didn't have an expedite removal on your record there. That's something that I need to understand. And by the way, how long ago was this? Was this in the 70s? Was this in the 80s? Or was this more recently? More recent, I should say. Um, and it matters. The timing of when this happened really does matter. So get a consultation so that we could take a look at what's going on there and how it could impact a potential marriage case. I submitted my application for adjustment of status through asylum through since March. Okay, you're fine. Um, let's see, contact USCIS about getting that green card. If you've been waiting too long after coming into the United States with that immigrant visa, our contact number for a consultation is in the bio on TikTok. It's 914-898-9488. All right, let's see. Double tap the screen, guys, and share this live session with your followers and friends and others. If you're changing status, although you have an application with USCIS, what do you need to do now? I need more information. I did my green card from 2023 and still cannot get it. What do you mean you did your green card? Let's keep going. Let's go down a little bit. Could my hearing for an asylum case be postponed since the current shutdown is in place? My hearing is in a couple of months. So the immigration court system is actually still working, and we even still have hearings that we're doing each week for our clients across the country. So things are still moving. Still, it's slow, but things are still moving. Let's see. Let's see. My husband lost all of his documents, including the passport he entered on and all papers that have his alien number. He was able to retrieve the passport. Great. What kind of FOIA? And can we file for it ourselves? You could, I don't know what you're seeking at this point. You said that he has retrieved his passport. You mean that he has a new passport that he got through the embassy, yet, he doesn't have his entry record, like a visa or stamp or anything like that. Certainly, you could file FOIA to see what you get, and the Form I-102 as well, so that you could get that I-94 for adjustment of status. Okay. Callie says that I'm waiting on an approved I-130 for my spouse, and we have to do an I-601A waiver next, then go to the consulate abroad. Okay, we know that. It will be a few years or so from now. Question: will they look at my taxes from this year? I hope not. I had an unplanned injury. Or will they look at income taxes later, closer to the interview time? So yeah, it's going to be much. You had a little dip there in your income this year due to your medical injury there. Not to worry. When your wife's case goes over to the visa center for final processing of the visa application, it's at that point that the government will seek your affidavit of support and would like you to submit evidence related to your income, okay? And those last 3 years of income and current year income, they're going to be looking at all of that at that time, okay? And you're still just at the I-130 stage, so you do have some time ahead of you to get back on your feet and get things moving again financially for your family. Double tap the screen. Thank you guys for being here today. I'm LaToya McBean Pompy, an immigration lawyer in White Plains, New York, working with clients nationwide, and we're talking about U.S. immigration today and answering your questions. Let's see. Um, it's hard to get a student visa when you're in process right now with the immigrant intent. And also, I don't know whether you're Kwasim, whether you're here in the United States or not. Have you overstayed your visa, or are you over in your home country waiting for that F2 category that you say that you're in here? It's the embassy is going to potentially drill down and give you a very challenging time. It's not impossible to get it, but the student visa, but it's going to be a little bit of a fight. We'd be happy to walk you through it. We'd be happy to help you with that. Now, guys. So with cancellation, someone's asking a question about cancellation of removal. Hard to do, a low chance of success, 2 to 4%. You've got to really be eligible. We work on those cases, but we do drill down to see who's eligible for it and whether you have a chance. Whether you have a chance, we will file it for you. All right. Thank you. Let's see. Let's keep going. We could be reached at McBean Law at 914-898-9488 or go to email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com and you'll hear back from us to work on to schedule your consultation for you. How long should a couple wait to file their application with a marriage green card case? Someone is asking on Instagram. Well, it depends on what do you have going, right? Do you have a history of being together? Do you have evidence of the relationship maturing? What do you have that you could at least show the government as the progression of the relationship? Also, do you have evidence of living together? Have you joined any of your resources together yet? Your marriage is young, but it doesn't mean you can't file right away. As a matter of fact, we told a story last week about a client of ours, a couple. They got married in December of last year, came to us in January of this year. We filed their case. I think the case was filed. Oh, I think it was. I forget. It was a 3 month adjudication, less than 3 month adjudication, but I think the case was filed in August, if I'm not mistaken. And they were called in for an interview. We prepared them, went with them and everything, and got the approval in under 3 months, despite the fact that they're still newlyweds, not even a year of marriage yet. So when they came to us, they also didn't have as much evidence in the beginning. We worked with them to assemble the right kind of evidence, and sometimes it takes a few months to do that. And because we wanted to make sure that we gave them the best possible chance of proving their case to immigration, and it worked, guys. So it just really all depend on the strength of the evidence that you've submitted. If you do not have enough evidence in the beginning, you might get a request for evidence from immigration. I say might because they've said to us that earlier in the year that if you submit a case to them without the right evidence, without enough evidence, they're just going to maybe deny your case outright, or they might even just so they want to their policy says they want to decrease the number of RFEs and NOIDs that they send, notice of intent to deny, and just deny people even for mistakes and such. I haven't really seen that happening quite yet. I see them still sending out the request for evidence, sending out the NOIDs, and then quickly denying and placing people in removal. That's what I've seen happening. Okay. Double tap the screen, guys, and also type in your immigration question for me that I could hopefully can get to. Let's see, there's okay, here's a super chat question that says, I have an individual hearing coming up in December. That's the final hearing in court. My I-130 has been approved. My I-45 is administratively closed by USCIS. Um, I have good moral character, and I had paroled into the United States. What are my chances of success? Will the judge grant me my green card? Celia, I don't know if the judge will approve your case at that individual hearing. In the perfect world, what should have happened is your removal case would be dismissed so that you could continue your 485 process with USCIS, but you're still on the docket all the way up to this individual hearing. I would want to know what is on your immigration record. What placed you in removal to begin with? What was it? How did you get there? What was the trigger? For some people, the trigger is the way they enter the United States. For other people, the trigger is a denied application at USCIS. And and then USCIS made that decision to place them in court. For some people, the trigger is an asylum application that they filed that USCIS did not approve. So I want to know the trigger for removal and also what is on your record. If a case like yours came to us today, or the attorneys, we would stay, would have to go through an approval process for us to say, should we take it or not? Here it is. We're going into November. This person has her individual final hearing in December. Can we become competent enough to take over this case at the last minute? And it's a strategic decision that we make based on a number of things. And so what we would be looking at is the history of that I've just discussed with you that we would want to understand from you during a consultation, and then we would see whether we could get a continuance to push your hearing off to maybe another few more months so that we can get your records from immigration. We're new lawyers on your file. We want to help you, but we want to be competent. So we would probably seek that continuance first. This is how we do it, guys. I'm sharing with you our playbook. This is what we do every week. We have situations like this of folks coming to us at the late hour saying, I want to switch lawyers. I don't feel confident anymore. I don't like how things are going. My lawyer isn't preparing me for court. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really nervous. And so we make that decision is, can we take it now or not? Sometimes we say no because we don't have enough time to become competent, and we do not want to prejudice you and lead you to a removal order. So sometimes we say no. Other times we say yes and seek that continuance, and most times we get the continuance granted. Most times it is granted, but we can't guarantee that it will be granted. Um, it will always be the judge's decision. And now, during the continuance period, we get your records, we see what form of relief that you have, we make an argument. If we find that you actually need a waiver, we also prepare that for court, and we have that final hearing, adjustment of status hearing in court. All right. So that's how we would tackle those facts. I wish you well. If you decide, okay, you're still going to proceed the way things are going now, loop back with us to let us know how it went. Okay, someone says, excuse me, that I want to say thank you. You have been a great motivation and source of information. I got my adjustment of status approved last week. The whole process took 3.5 months. That's great. That is great. And I'm going to come to some success stories momentarily. Thank you for kicking us off. That's great. That is wonderful. Guys, if you've experienced any success with your case, encourage the community. Tell us what happened and tell us the timeline and the type of case that you had so that I could share it with others others to encourage folks because, you guys need it. You need the encouragement. All right, you need it. All right, let's see. Oh, I've answered that already. Let's jump over here for a second, double tap the screen. Um, how much does it cost for a visa to come to the United States? Um, Certainly, it depends on what type of process you're going through. If you today, guys, after I am finished with this live session, please note that I will not be the one in the DM communicating with you. There are fraudsters out there with my photo and my name and McBean Law's name on it. They're scamming people. Please do not respond to those DMs, okay? Contact our office at 914-898-9488 to speak with us. All right. I don't know anything about an amendment with respect to family reunification. My father was detained on Wednesday. He entered in the 1970s illegally. Can we stop the deportation? No criminal record. Josh is asking. Josh, hopefully your father has an attorney right now evaluating what happened here and looking to see whether your father had or has a removal order. It really depends on what's going on with his record. You said, well, he doesn't have a criminal record. That's just one aspect of things. You can have a consultation with us to talk about this detained case, but time is really critical here because the government moves people around all the time, and we really wouldn't want them to change locations for your father and then have him deported without an attempt to stop the deportation. So the first thing we'd want to know is, does he have a removal order, a final removal order? Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, the asylum case, the refugee process has come to a halt. I see questions here on Instagram about that. The government is not interested in processing refugee cases for people from certain other countries, African countries, and other countries that they do not prioritize at this time. So that's what's causing some people to be, 221G. They're stuck in administrative processing. They're stuck. Their applications aren't moving. Or for those who had been approved, they're not getting a visa. It's a huge mess. And I want to say there's litigation going on about that issue. I'm not too certain on that. I'm not really tracking that, but there's things happening. Thank you for the gifts there on TikTok. Freedom now. Okay, let's go down a little bit. The I-751, folks are getting that 4-year extension. You're only 9 months into it. Approvals, from what I've seen, for some people come between 6 or 8 months, all the way up until the end, okay? Okay, you applied for a family-sponsored visa in Mexico. Let's go down a little bit here. I filed for my green card in 2022. I got my work permit and my Social Security card, but I don't know what's going on otherwise. It's been pending for so long. Sharon, reach out to us so that we could maybe request your records from immigration and dig deeper with you to see what category you're in and why it's taken so long, so that we could push things along for you if we're able to. Thank you, WWJD. Okay, awesome. All right, here we go. I just, you can always tell when I get a question that I really want. Like, okay, here we go. I just got a master hearing scheduled in January after my administratively closed case after 9 years. My case was administratively closed, but then they placed me back on the docket in January. Is it a bad sign? I'm freaking out right now, this person says. It's not a bad sign. It doesn't mean anything other than the government is following through with what it promised. And what it promised months ago is that they're going to recalendar 400,000 cases of people just like you who had an administratively closed case over the years. You need to meet with an attorney right away because you've got to strategize about whether you have any defense, any reason to tell a judge why you should stay in the United States. So immediately jump on it because January is going to be here before you know it. I'm a VAWA applicant and I've sent in my application. What should I expect? You should expect that it's going to be several months before you might even get a receipt notice confirming that they have your case, okay? And then a little bit longer maybe for the work permit. They've really slowed down the work permit process with these humanitarian cases. This government doesn't seem to like those cases anymore. But they're still processing them, certainly, but at a glacial pace. Someone keeps asking about whether his application can be approved. And I don't know what application you're referring to there. Double tap the screen. Yes, refugee process, they're not moving those cases forward at this time. EB2 NIW, we do those. Contact us to discuss whether you're qualified for it or not. Okay, let's see. Can someone travel as a visa overstay so they can get sponsored by their spouse? What do you mean travel? Travel where? You're a visa overstay, you're here in the United States. The only way that you could leave the United States confidently is if you have an advanced parole document or you have a green card. Otherwise, you will be subject to the 10-year ban and won't be able to return to the United States until you get a waiver approved. Okay. All right. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Um, let's see. Go down. I applied for asylum in 2018. I haven't been interviewed yet. I got married in 2024. Okay, have you filed a marriage case yet? Because you can file a marriage case if you're eligible for the marriage process. To my knowledge, what year did I see the last time? Is it 2016 or 2017 that I saw here in the New York area that they're up to? They are moving faster now with some of the older asylum cases. They are calling people in for interviews for those who have been waiting those many years now. So be prepared. Be prepared. Remember what your case is about. Remember what you've told the government. Review your application. Request additional documents and evidence from your home country. Guys, start working on the evidence for your asylum case because if you're called in, you're going to want to be prepared, okay? All right, Typing Freedom Now, thank you so much for being with me this afternoon. We're spending a little time talking about U.S. immigration, various application issues, because U.S. immigration it's a beast, guys. It's a beast. BEAST. It's a beast. It's huge. So I'm answering your questions. Are people still being approved under Trump? We're worried because a son or daughter a son just turned 21. Yes, people are still being approved. In fact, you could go to mcbeanlaw.com/success and see some success stories. We post them every week. Or you could also subscribe to our newsletter so that you can get your success stories on Sundays. All right. So, and we have a good one coming out on Sunday for you guys. So if you have not yet subscribed to our newsletter, guys, subscribe. mcbeanlaw.com/subscribe. All right. Let's go, guys. Type in freedom now. Freedom now. There is a long delay, yes, with EB3. You're in that preference category. Employer is filing for you. Someone says that I took my naturalization test and interview. I passed both, but the decision is still pending. The status in the portal says interview schedule. The test was 9 months ago. Something came up 9 months ago when you interviewed with them. Contact us so that we could talk one-on-one about your background so that we could gear up in the event they deny your case, okay? Let's see. We work on all sorts of denied cases. Once a spouse becomes a green card holder through marriage, they could apply for naturalization early at the 3-year mark or 2.9-year mark. Do we offer humanitarian parole services? Yes, we do. And I think we also have success stories related to the humanitarian parole process. Go to our website to peruse through the stories. Contact us for an appointment to see if you have a case. No updates right now on VAWA other than the receipt notices are taking a very long time to come. Okay, thank you. Let's see. If someone files for VAWA, for those of you who aren't familiar with VAWA, it stands for Violence Against Women Act, and it's a law. In the immigration context, VAWA allows victims of domestic violence to apply for residency here on his or her own, and it doesn't only apply for those of you who are married. It could be an abuse by an adult U.S. citizen son or daughter. It could be in that context as well. If someone files a VAWA case with no physical abuse evidence, just a few text messages and emotional abuse, and your spouse not wanting to help you, for the 4 years you've been together, no financial assistance. Sade is asking, you might have a VAWA case, despite the fact that there is no physical abuse. The question is, was this person narcissistic, controlling, and emotionally abusive, verbally abusive? Did this person belittle you? Did this person make you feel like nothing? Did this person financially abuse you? Did this person threaten you, and threaten you from the standpoint of saying things like, you know your situation, you know that I have power over you. I am in control here because I'm the citizen, I'm the resident. You need me more than I need you, right? Those are abusive language. That's abusive language. And so we would evaluate to see what happened in this marriage. And can we share this abusive story with immigration in a way that convinces them that you are a victim? That's what it really comes down to. And also that you were in a genuine marriage. Okay. That is also a very big part of VAWA. And that it was a lawful marriage. Guys, we see cases from time to time, more than we'd like, of people who came from another country, married a U.S. citizen. They started an I-130 process through that U.S. citizen. That process didn't work out. They filed for VAWA, and the VAWA case is denied. Why? Because the government realized that the divorce from your former spouse in your home country, that divorce wasn't even valid. So therefore, you weren't even legally married to the U.S. citizen or green card holder abuser spouse. And you have no VAWA case. You have not even special VAWA cancellation and of removal case in court. You don't have it because the marriage wasn't even valid to begin with the U.S. citizen. So take heed, guys, that when you're seeking your divorce from your foreign spouse, ensure that it is a true and proper divorce. If you're not clear about that before you marry someone, ensure that you get that divorce done right here in the United States so that there won't be any questions later on about the validity of the divorce from your foreign country. All right. Someone says, I have a naturalization interview coming up through my through marriage. Um, it's better to go. I think that you should, you should bring your spouse with you. Okay. I don't do although I don't do the interview preps as much anymore. And I don't know what my colleagues have been telling people. If my opinion on that changes, I'll check in with them. If my opinion on that changes, I will be sure to let you know. Um, can I have your contact information so that I could book an appointment to know if it's okay for my wife to file for me? I'm in Ghana. Yes, our contact information is scrolling on the screen. And you can reach out to us at mcbeanlaw.com. Go to mcbeanlaw.com if you'd like to learn more about us. You'll also see the consultation process and fees there. Do we entertain a free first-time consultation? Rod is asking. No, we do not entertain a free consultation. Um, can you please text in the chat? Yes, I'll be happy to do so. I don't think, so I'm going to add 914-898-9488. That's our contact information, okay? There you go. Okay, I see a super chat question coming in for $10. Caesar, thank you. Um, I have I have a grant of withholding of removal from 2023. I have an approved I-130 through my mom. Okay, I live in Los Angeles. When I got my case granted, I heard the judge tell my attorney I can fix my papers. Okay, so you were granted withholding of removal in 2023. That's good. It means that you could stay here lawfully and you'll be granted, I hope you have your work permit and, keep your work permit, renew your work permit every cycle. You just cannot leave the United States. By the judge saying that you could fix your paper, you have to realize that your I-130 through your mother, you're an adult now, so you have this I-130 through your mother that starts the process for you. But in order to finish this process, a visa must be available for you, and you must also have the ability to leave the United States through a waiver process and be interviewed at your home embassy for a visa. That's that's a tricky and complex process when you're in removal. It can be done, it can work. It's just trickier because you'll, you know, um, your removal case at some point will need to be reopened and you will need a waiver. And so there's some steps and time and a timeline that has to be closely followed. It can work. You can meet with us one-on-one to go through the steps that will be needed to cure this issue and to map it out for you. Okay, Freedom Now. Hey there, Sophia. Um, oh, right. If my wife missed her court date because it was in another state and she couldn't go because she was scared of ICE, what would be the next step? She's married to me and I'm a green card holder. So when she missed her hearing, most likely the judge issued a removal order against her, okay? And it sounds to me like, you said, well, she didn't go because it was in another state and she was also afraid of ICE. Well, it doesn't sound to me like she had a very good reason for missing that hearing. It's not as if something really stood in her way. If she knew about it, had notice of it, the court will hold her to that. So filing a motion to reopen that in absentia case is very tough. We could still try, of course, but those circumstances, those facts are not very good. You only have a green card, so now to file for her, you could, if she has an I-130 through you, fine. It provides very, 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 very limited protection. It won't stop the deportation process if she is detained by ICE. We would start off by looking at her record, what brought her into the removal process to begin with, and find out also on your side when you could potentially qualify for naturalization and help you with that. So there's a lot to talk about. There will be a lot to discuss and map out for you. All right. Grace says, if you're married, if you're married and your wife got pregnant for another man and and you have not yet received your green card. Okay. So these are real facts, okay? People go through things like this. Um, you're going through a green card process and your spouse gets pregnant. I don't know who got pregnant. Is it the immigrant who got pregnant or the US citizen? I don't know. It's going to be a problem, yes, for the case, because at some point, if they call you in for an interview and they ask, whose baby is this? Right? Show us the birth certificate, and they're going to look specifically. The only thing they're going to care about is what name is on the birth certificate, who is the father. And so it's going to put you in a situation where, you'll have to explain to the government if they call you in for this interview, you'll have to explain the infidelity, and it's going to raise questions about the genuineness of your marriage. So they're going to pay closer attention to your case to see whether you're in a bona fide marriage or not before approving the green card. We've navigated this rough waters many, many times. Guys, this is so common, so very common. So just know that you're not alone out there, and there's a way of handling it, and it's through careful planning and truth and transparency. All right. So reach out to us if you need any further assistance. Some good news that we collected from you guys recently. So, Kingsford 27 says, my wife got her removal proceedings terminated by the court. Congratulations. And by the way, I'm reading these for the first time. Livy Entertainment says, I got all my family's U visa approved today. After 9 years of waiting, I was here legally when someone shot me and robbed me in a store. And so through her guys, her family was able to get the U visa approval, which is so key because it leads to adjustment of status. So this is great news. Erwin Pascal says, I filed for my stepson before he turned 21. He was under 18 when I got married to his wife. He is an immediate relative. His I-130 took 14 months to be approved. Great. Marie Anderson 7991 says, I got an I-130 and I-45 approved. Had to do a Stokes interview, guys. It was kind of funny, some of the questions that they asked. But she made it through and she has her green card after the Stokes. I really hope this is encouraging you guys. People are still being approved. Things are still happening. Karen Desmond Smith 9277 says, I got my citizenship. Thanks for all your support. Yay. And then lastly, this is the last one, Gasson. All my case took 91 days. I got my mail. I got my card in the mail today. Don't be discouraged, and good luck to all of y'all. That's great. 91 days, 3 months. And we shared a terrific story on Sunday as well. Go to mcbeanlaw.com/success because I don't remember what that story is about right now. I'm hungry. Time for lunch. Guys, thank you so much today for being with me. I will be live again on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So you can join me then. If I have if I have an hour over the weekend, certainly I'll be back before you. We'll see how it goes, but just plan for Monday at 1 Eastern for our Freedom Now live show. Be sure to contact us if you have any immigration problems. Many of you do have problems based on all of these questions. If you need help navigating things, reach out to us at 914-898-9488. Thanks so much for being with me, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye. And stay safe today. Stay safe out there today. But take care, guys. Bye-bye.